So hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will start a new chapter which is photosynthesis. This chapter is very important for your NEET exam as nearly 4 to 5 questions are asked every year from this chapter. So we will start the chapter with the definition. The term photosynthesis is divided into two parts, that is photo and synthesis. If we break the terms apart and look at their meanings, photo means light and synthesis means formation or to synthesize. That is, photosynthesis is a process in which a substance is synthesized, is being formed in the presence of light. That is, light will play an important role in this entire process. So if we look at the definition, we can define photosynthesis as an anabolic, or we can say physiochemical, anabolic endergonic process in which simple inorganic substances are converted into an complex organic substance in the presence of light. So if we describe the terms one by one, then physiochemical, what does this term mean, physiochemical? Which means that it is a physiological process. That is, it will take place in living plants only, or those living organisms which are able to photosynthesize. And chemical means an entirely new substance is formed, which can again be converted into simple inorganic substance. The process respiration, we will study later. Then anabolic. Anabolic means formation. We all know about metabolism. Metabolism is some total of catabolism and anabolism. That is, all the reactions which takes place inside and living organisms are together considered or said as metabolism. Metabolism is divided into two types again, that is catabolism and anabolism. Catabolism means breakdown of complex substance into simpler substance, and anabolism means formation. New or simple substances come together, they react and they form an entire new substance. So anabolic means photosynthesis is a process in which formation will take place. Formation of new substance will take place. And this endergonic process. Endergonic means we use the term endergonic for a process in which energy is utilized. So this term refers that energy is utilized in photosynthesis. Which means for photosynthesis to be completed, it needs energy. That is why it is also called as endergonic process. and energy will be supplied in the form of ATP, NADPH, etc. etc. ATP means adenosine trinucleotide phosphate, and NADPH means nicotinamide adenosine dinucleotide phosphate hydrogen. So if we define photosynthesis, we can define that photosynthesis is a physiochemical process, physiochemical, anabolic, endergonic process. If you want, you can add biological. Photosynthesis is an anabolic, endergonic, physiochemical, biological process in which simpler inorganic substances form an organic substance in the presence of light and chlorophyll. So if what are these inorganic substances, or we can say these are raw materials. Inorganic substance act as raw material. So what are these raw materials? These are CO2 and H2O, that is carbon dioxide and water in the photosynthesis act as inorganic substance or raw materials. And what is this new organic substance called, which is formed? These are called sugar or carbohydrate, basically glucose. So CO2 and H2O react together in the presence of light. We can add chlorophyll to here. Chlorophyll to form a new substance, which is new organic substance, which is sugar and basically glucose, and liberates an oxygen molecule. So as CO2 and H2O react, they form C6, let's say sugar. Glucose is formed. Then CO2 and H2O act as raw material. They are forming glucose and oxygen is evolved. So as oxygen is evolved in this entire process, then we can say that photosynthesis is an oxygenic process too. Oxygenic means oxygen is evolved in the process. So photosynthesis is an physiochemical, anabolic, endergonic process in which raw materials, which are inorganic in nature, react together in the presence of light and chlorophyll to form an organic substance, which is basically sugar, basically glucose. And oxygen molecule is evolved as a byproduct. Hence we say that it can be also said as oxygenic photosynthesis. So if we look at the equation now, so if we look at the exact chemical equation of photosynthesis, it will be 6 molecules of CO2 plus 12 molecules of H2O plus some amount of energy in the presence of chlorophyll is converted into glucose, O2 is evolved and H2O is released. So if you observe from this equation, we can say that this CO2 molecule is being reduced into this glucose. As we all know that this is glucose molecule. Glucose, that is, reduction is taking place. By reduction, as we all know that reduction reduction means addition of hydrogen. So hydrogen atom is added to this CO2 molecule. So CO2 molecule is being reduced into glucose molecule. This process in photosynthesis is known as dark reaction. We will study in detail what is dark reaction further. And here, this water molecule is being oxidized, releasing oxygen. So this is oxidation. Oxidation basically means removal of hydrogen atom. And this process of splitting of H2O in oxygen, and this hydrogen will go with CO2 and for this oxidation, and this process is called light reaction. These are the two steps in photosynthesis, dark reaction and light reaction. So from here you can easily say that light reaction will be the process in which photolysis of water will take place, and dark reaction will be the main phase, main reaction in which glucose, that is the final product, will be formed. Final product will be formed in dark reaction. So photosynthesis is an redox reaction, as oxidation and reduction are taking place in the same reaction. So photosynthesis is an redox reaction. And in this energy, where does it come from? So the light, the sunlight is converted into chemical energy. The sunlight is converted into chemical energy, and this chemical energy is being used in the process for formation of this glucose molecule. So this is the entire reaction, and the entire chapter we will discuss will be on this reaction. On every step we will have a look on this reaction. So this is the basically introduction. If you look at some facts about the photosynthesis, that what is Euglena, what is mixotropic nutrition, what are some exceptions in which the plants where the roots also photosynthesize. So we should have a look over it. So about 90% of the photosynthesis is being carried by aquatic plants. That is, aquatic plants are responsible for 90% of the entire photosynthesis process. And in this aquatic plant, approx 85% by algae alone. That is, algae is responsible for the 85% of the photosynthesis on this entire earth. So what about the terrestrial plants, like the plant we see on the land? These are responsible for only 10% of photosynthesis. Terrestrial plants. Okay. And from here, by the algae, this has been asked various times in the NEET or the various state level entrance exam earlier, or some university entrance exams also. That is, first organism to perform photosynthesis is BGA, that is blue green algae. It is also named as cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria will study in biological classification, that is your chapter 2. Cyanobacteria is said as it is the first organism to perform photosynthesis. However, most plants are green and photosynthetic. Most of the plants we see are the green and photosynthetic, that is, they have photosynthetic pigments, leaves, But if we talk about amarbale, that is Cuscuta reflexa, scientific name, first initial in capital, the species epithet will be small and both are underlined. Amarbale, that is Cuscuta reflexa, is non-green, non-photosynthetic. So if it is not photosynthetic, then how it will derive its nutrition? खाना कैसे मिलेगा इसको? So basically Cuscuta reflexa is parasitic in nature. It is parasitic plant. And what do we know about parasitic type of nutrition? That is the type of organism which leaves on a living organism, deriving its nutrition from that host, that is the living organism on which they are dependent. So Cuscuta reflexa is non-green, non-photosynthetic and parasitic. This can be asked that which of the following plant is parasitic. So they may give the option amarbale or the Cuscuta reflexa, or it is sometimes also said as dodder plant. So Cuscuta reflexa is non-green. A term comes that is mixotropic nutrition. What is mixotropic nutrition? So the type of organism which shows this type of nutrition, that is mixotropic nutrition, is Euglena. Euglena shows mixotropic type of nutrition, that is when light is present, then it will perform photosynthesis. So autotropic. And when light is absent or when there is no light, then it will show heterotropic type of nutrition. So the type of nutrition in which is mixture of both autotropic and heterotropic nutrition is termed as mixotropic nutrition. And example is Euglena. So Euglena is sometimes also known as connecting link between plants and animals. Okay. Then we will study some more facts, like basically all the roots of the plant are non-photosynthetic. That is, they do not have photosynthetic pigments, chlorophyll basically. But some plants have photosynthetic roots. Example, Trepa, Tinospora, Taniophyllum, and Podostemon. Trepa, Tinospora, Taniophyllum and Podostemon have photosynthetic roots. They have photosynthetic roots. Okay. And at last we will discuss insectivorous plant, that is which feeds on insect. So insectivorous plant basically are autotropic. Insectivorous plants are basically autotropic. Then a question arises that if they are autotropic, then why do they feed on insects? For what purpose? They synthesize their own food through the process of photosynthesis. But For nitrogen content, for their nitrogen content they feeds upon the insects. Okay, so that's all in this video lecture. If you understood the concept, if you understood the definitions, if you like the content, please give a like and please subscribe to the channel if you are visiting for the first time. We will meet in the next video lecture. So thank you very much.